football fans, we are ready for NFL picks for week number 3 in the league where they play for pay. Great to be back with you. Week number 3 already. I am off to a spectacular start. 30-7 the first 2 weeks. 14-4 week 1, 16-3 last week, 13-3 with the picks, 3-0 with the over and unders. I am off to an amazing start so far this season. Let's keep it going. Pick number 1. Let's go down to Jacksonville with the Arizona Cardinals, a -7 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville down to 0-2, lost to Denver. No surprise here at all, or it shouldn't have been a surprise. I told you all last week Denver would shut down Jacksonville. Jacksonville wouldn't be able to move the ball from here to there. They didn't. Jacksonville's 0-2. They're going to have a long season. Arizona, they're up to 2-0, beat Minnesota. Very fortunate to win this game. Minnesota misses a field goal with no time left. Arizona very fortunate to win this game. They looked great in week 1, Arizona. Offense was still cooking in week 2 here. Made a couple mistakes, with the turnovers. Defense didn't play well. Defense did not play well. Minnesota kind of moved the ball up and down the field. Arizona lucky to escape with a win, but they did win the game. They are 2-0 in a very good division. And as far as this game goes, listen. Arizona's -7 in Jacksonville. 2-team teaser. 6 points. Move it to 1. You got to like Arizona. How could you possibly like Jacksonville? How could you possibly like them? They stink. They stink. They're going to have a long season. There's no other way around it. I mean, they just don't have enough. Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle. They lose the running back for the year. I told you the offensive line isn't that good. Remember, they don't have the dominant defense they did years ago. So they can't even rely on that. It's going to be a long season for Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer, and the Jaguars. Arizona, -1 in a teaser. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2. Let's go with the Motor City in Detroit with the Baltimore Ravens, a -8 against the Detroit Lions. Lions 0-2, lost to Green Bay last night in Lambeau. Detroit played a good first half, bad second half. And how about Baltimore? And I picked Baltimore last week. 1-1, beat the Chiefs despite having all sorts of guys out. Baltimore has a lot of injuries. They hung in the game. Jackson did a good job. Offense was cooking, and Baltimore pulls out the win against Kansas City. That was a very important win for the Ravens. Remember, the Chiefs have had their number. The Chiefs have had their number. That was an important win for the Baltimore Ravens. As far as this game, Baltimore 8 in Detroit. Again, kind of like the first game, 2-team teaser, 6 points, move it to 2. You got to like Baltimore. They're coming off a huge win against Kansas City. They have a Lion team which is not very good. A short week for the Lions as well because they played on Monday night. We don't think the Lions are going to win that many games. Despite Baltimore having a lot of injuries, I can't see them losing this game. So to me, I move it to 2 and I take the Ravens. Oh, one more thing on Detroit. They're down 35-17 with 4 minutes to go in the game last night. And I forgot who it was on Detroit. They got a sack. And he's celebrating. And I've said this for years. Why are you celebrating down 35-17 with 4 minutes to go when you're about to go to 0-2? Think about that. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go up to Buffalo with the Buffalo Bills, a -9 against the Washington football team. Washington up to 1-1, beat the Giants. Oh, we'll get to the Giants later. The Giants got to be sick. Remember, Washington misses the first field goal. Giants jump off sides. They get a second crack at it, and Washington wins the game, so they're up to 1-1. Buffalo, they're up to 1-1. They just rolled over Miami. Buffalo was angry they lost week 1, and they just took it out on the Dolphins. Dolphins, of course, lose Tua. We'll see how long he's at. But Buffalo, much better in week 2 than week 1. For all you three-team teaser lovers, that's 9 points. I'm going to move the line to pick them and take Buffalo. They're home. They looked really good last week. And I don't think Buffalo's going to lose 2 home games in a row. Remember, they lost to the Steelers week 1 at home. I don't think they're going to lose 2 home games in a row. I don't think Washington's good enough to go into Buffalo and win. So I would go 3-team teaser there. Move it to pick them. Take the Bills. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4, let's go to the Mile High City in Denver with Denver Broncos a -10 against the New York Football Jets. Denver up to 2-2. I mentioned they shut down Jacksonville. Denver, 2 road wins to start the year. 2 road wins to start the year. Very impressive. Listen, I told you this about Denver. The defense is going to be there. The defense is going to be there. It's going to give them a shot to win games. Defense is there. That's a very tough division, but the defense is there. Jets. 0-2, lost to New England. Played a horrific, abominable, deplorable game at home. Wilson, who everyone said was the next Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes, let's put that on hold. He had 4 interceptions in this game. He was as bad as you can get. Terrible performance by the Jets. Terrible performance by Wilson. I know he's a young rookie. I know he's going to make mistakes. But let's hold up on the comparisons. It's been an awful start so far for Wilson. An awful start. And I was thinking about this. Hypothetically, say the Jets go like 0-16 and Wilson struggles the whole year. Will the Jets then look to take another quarterback with the first pick in the draft next year? Because people, they want instantaneous results now. We're a now society. Microwave dinners and text messages. People don't have a lot of patience. This isn't like, years ago when you put the rookie quarterback on the bench for 2 years and then you gave him 3 years to prove himself. Oh, no. Look what happened to Haskins on Washington a couple years ago when everyone thought he was the greatest thing in the world. How did that work out? Now he's the 3rd string quarterback for the Steelers. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll see. Because the Jets look like they're going to have a miserable season and Wilson's going to struggle. So we'll see how long it takes everyone to jump off the Wilson bandwagon. Remember, they also told me Donald was the answer. Now he's on Carolina. I'm playing well, by the way, on Carolina. As far as this game, Denver -10 against the Jets in Denver. 3-team teaser, move it to 1, take the Broncos. The Jets, like, the Jaguars last week, won't be able to move the ball against that Bronco defense. They won't be able to do it. They're not going to be able to score. And Denver is notoriously good at home all the time anyway. They're not going to lose to the New York Football Jets here. 3-team teaser, move it to 1. Take the Broncos. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go up to Minnesota with the Seattle Seahawks a -1 against the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings, as I mentioned, 0-2, lost a heartbreak at Arizona. A game they played good enough to win. Missed a field goal at the end. They have to be heartbroken about that. They could have won that game easily. The offense looked good. Defense still a little shaky, like last year. Offense looked good in this game. Heartbreaking loss for the Vikings. Seattle, they're down to 1-1. Lost to Tennessee. Had a huge lead in this game. Let it slip away. Remember, I picked Tennessee last week. I had a feeling they were going to play better. They did. That was a tough loss for Seattle. I think Seattle's just better than Minnesota. It's only 1 point. I think Seattle's better. I think they're really, really mad they lost to Tennessee. They let that game slip away. They had a big lead in that game. So I'm going to take Seattle here. You can go money line. You can go, you can give the 1 point, even in a teaser. You can wrap this around, and it's Seattle's -1. You get 6 points in a 2-team teaser. You can make Seattle +5. Because you got to think even if Minnesota wins, it's going to be close. But I like Seattle here. I think they're just better than Minnesota, especially off a loss. I'm going to take the Seahawks. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go out to sunny Los Angeles with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on -1 against the L.A. Rams. This spread has been all over the place. Some books have it pick 'em. Some have Tampa favored. Some have the Rams favored by 1. It's all over the place. And remember, I use the early lines. I get these lines on Sunday. That's a week before the game. So the lines are going to change. So I always tell you, if you like a spread, a week before, bet it because it may change. If you don't like a spread, be patient. It may, get to your liking. But I use the early lines. And, I use the Sunday lines a week before the game. I pick the games on Tuesday. So these lines are going to change by the time it's game time. But I use the early lines. And remember, you always have to look for injuries during the week. COVID, we saw that with the Saints last week when their whole coaching staff was wiped out. You got to keep an eye on that. Injuries, COVID, the weather. And with teasers, stay off certain numbers. 3, 7, 10 because ties lose. Ties lose. So you want to get off those numbers when you move the game around in the teaser. Stay off those numbers. And this is a perfect example of that. Tampa Bay's -1 in Los Angeles. Tampa Bay 2-0 beat Atlanta. There's rumors that Tampa Bay may sign Sherman, by the way. Rams 2-0 beat Indianapolis. This is a very intriguing game. I'm going to move the line in a 2-team teaser to 7 and take the Rams. Now, I'd love to get the spread up to 1.5 and make it 7.5 and take the Rams. Having said that, I still like the Rams with 7 at home. I think this game is a field goal game either way, down to the wire. Either team could win. So I'm going to take the Rams plus 7 in a 2-team teaser. I get the home field, I get 7 points. Like to get it to 7.5. Most likely this spread will go down, not up. But I do like the Rams here in a 2-team teaser to at least cover because I think it's a close game either way. Like I said, I use the early lines on Sunday. The spreads will change during the week. Keep an eye on the injuries. Keep an eye on COVID. And get off certain numbers in the teasers. Like 3, like 7, like 10. Because ties lose. That's tricky. But for purposes of the show, I'm going to take the Rams here. Plus 7 in a 2-team teaser. I'd like to get it to 7.5. I'm going to keep my eye on that spread this week. Hopefully it goes up. I doubt it will. It'll probably go down. I still like the Rams, though, to hang in. That's pick number 6. Pick number 7. Let's go to Steel City in Pittsburgh, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are -4.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals down to 1-1, lost to Chicago, did nothing for much of this game, tried to rally in the fourth quarter, but fell short. Burrow had a few picks. Bear defense dominated for 3 quarters. Like I said, Bengals tried to rally late, fell short. Pittsburgh down to 1-1, lost to the Raiders. Kind of got carved up by the Raiders. Carr kind of carved them up. Big plays all over the field. And again, I mentioned this last week. The Steelers are about their defense. We know the offense is not going to be great. They have to win on defense. And last year when they took injuries, it fell apart. And last week they took some more injuries on defense. Lose the defensive lineman for the year. T.J. Watt now has an injury. Left the game last week. We'll see about him. Not sure if he's going to play this week. Not sure how long he's going to be out. When the Steelers started to lose guys on defense last year, it all started to unravel. Let's keep an eye on it this year because we know the offense is not explosive. They have to win on defense. And last week they did not do that, gave up too many plays to the Raiders. I'm going to move the line to 10.5 and take the Bengals. It's a division game. I'm going to say this all year. I don't think the Steelers are going to be blowing out many teams. I don't think they're going to be scoring 30 points a game. I really don't. I think they're going to be in like the high teens, early 20s. So if you're getting 10.5 and you don't think the other team can score many points, you got to feel pretty comfortable the Bengals are going to at least cover with the 10.5. I like the Bengals plus 10.5 in a division game. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Let's go to Kansas City, where the Kansas City Chiefs are -6.5 against the L.A. Chargers. Chargers down to 1-1, lost to the Cowboys. Tough loss. Herbert had a couple of picks in this game. I'll tell you where the Chargers lost this game. They're down 14-11. They have a 1st and goal at the 1. They get a penalty. It moves them back. Incomplete pass. Then they called this despicable in the grass call on Herbert. He was not in the grass. Pushed him way back. Chargers have to settle for a field goal. Cowboys come down and kick the game-winning field goal. Chargers had a 1st and goal at the 1. And the penalties and that awful call pushed them back. And that reminded me of the Chargers of, the last few years when they found new and creative ways to lose. Always something like that would happen. So Chargers had their opportunities in this game. Couldn't get in at the one. Bad penalty. Then I thought a bad call. But give the Cowboys credit. We'll get to them later. It was a good win for them. As far as the Chiefs, they're down to 1-1. Lost to the Ravens. You know, you watched this game and you thought, this is the same old story. Kansas City keeps going up and down the field. The Ravens were hanging in the game. But the Chiefs kept scoring. And you're like, the Chiefs are going to win again. There's no way the Ravens are going to be able to hang in. And the next thing you know, the Ravens win the game and the Chiefs are 1-1. And the Chiefs are looking up now at a couple teams in that division. Denver and the Raiders, who are 2-0. I love this game, by the way. I think it's a must-watch game. I'm going to move the line to 12.5 and take the Chargers. I think the Chargers are good enough now where they can hang in these games. And you can't expect the Chiefs to be blowing out teams every week. You just can't. The Chiefs will score, but they give up points. They give up points. You see that the first 2 weeks. They gave up a lot of points to the Ravens. They gave up a lot of points to the Browns. I think the Chargers will get their points. And with 12.5, I feel comfortable they'll be in the game. It's a very interesting game. I like the game. I really like the game. It's a game I'm definitely going to watch a lot of. But I'll go Chargers plus 12.5. That's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go up to New England with the New England Patriots, a -3 against the New Orleans Saints. New England up to 1-1. They just shut down the Jets. They just shut down the Jets. Caused all sorts of havoc for the young quarterback. Turnovers all over the field. The New England defense won this game. And then the Saints. Oh, whew, ouch. Down to 1-1, just got stomped on by Carolina. I said this was an eerie spread last week, and as the week went on, it kind of got even more eerie because the whole Saint coaching staff was out with COVID. They had injuries, a couple guys out with injuries, and you're like, oh my God, are the Saints going to be able to overcome this? They couldn't. Complete opposite of week 1. They looked great in week 1. They looked awful here in week 2. This is a very strange game. They expect the Saints to get some of these coaches back with COVID, but again, keep your eye on it. You never know who's in, who's out. I'm going to move the line to 9 and take the Saints. I'm going to say they get some of these people back. They have to play better than last week. And New England, I know they won big last week. I don't think New England is going to blow out a lot of teams. They got 4 turnovers last week. I don't know if you can count on that each and every week. So I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think New England, with their rookie quarterback, is going to blow teams out either. Unless they get a boatload of turnovers, which is very hard to predict that. So I'm going to move the line to 9, and I'm going to conservatively take the Saints. Not one of my favorite plays. It's, again, a very strange game. You just don't know what you're getting here. But I'll take the Saints plus 9 in a 2-team teaser. That's pick number 9. Pick number 10. Let's go to the dog pound in Cleveland with the Cleveland Browns a -7.5 against the Chicago Bears. Bears 1-1, held on and beat Cincinnati. Dalton gets hurt. We'll see if he plays this week. Fields came in, had a turnover, wasn't all that great. Maybe Foles, they go with Foles this week. Who knows? Dalton's hurt. They have Foles. They have Fields. There was rumors they might sign Cam Newton. Who knows who's quarterbacking the Bears? You got to keep an eye on these injuries this week. We have a lot of quarterbacks that are questionable. Whether it be Dalton, whether it be Wentz, whether it be Tua, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that are questionable this week. Cleveland, they're up to 1-1. Beat the Texans. Weren't as dominant as they thought they would be. The Texans kind of hung around in this game. But Cleveland, did pull away late. And they did get the W. Kind of a ho-hum win for Cleveland. Cleveland's at home, -7.5 here against the Bears. I'm going to move it to 1.5 and take Cleveland. I don't know about the Chicago quarterback situation. I don't know if Dalton's going to play. That means you could get Fields in here, the young rookie. That's trouble. You can't ask too much of these rookie quarterbacks. And Cleveland, they're home. They're coming off a win. And I just think they're better than Chicago. So I like the Browns. I'm going to move to 1.5 and take them at home. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11, let's go to Nashville, Tennessee, with the Tennessee Titans a -5 against the Indianapolis Colts. Colts 0-2, lost to the Rams. Colts dropped 2 home games to start the year. And again, here we go, Wentz. 2 sprained ankles. Is he going to play this week? If he does, how is he going to play? He's shaky to begin with. Bloom was off the rose with Wentz. Remember when Wentz started with the Eagles and it was the whole Wentzylvania thing? That seems like a long time ago. He's a mediocre quarterback at best now, and he's always hurt. You may get Eason at quarterback this week for the Colts. What are you going to get with him? Tennessee, very impressive win. 1-1, beat Seattle in Seattle, fell behind big early and came back to win. That was a important win for the Titans. Very gutty win on the road there. With Wentz being hurt, and I don't think he'll play, and the Colts being on the road, and Tennessee coming off that huge win, I have to like the Titans here. I'm going to move it to basically pick them and take the Titans. I think the Titans are going to win this game. Again, what are you going to get at quarterback from the Colts? Who are you going to get at quarterback for the Colts? You don't know, so how could you possibly like them? Unless you love Mr. Eason. Mr. Eason. I like Tennessee at home to take care of business here. Remember, 2 weeks ago they were embarrassed at home. They were booed off the field and they got blown out by Arizona. They'll play better this time around. And the Colts, the injury situation, you can't like them. They're 0-2 injuries, can't like them. I like Tennessee, that's pick number 11. Pick number 12, this is the Sunday night football game with the San Francisco 49ers a minus 4.5 against the Green Bay Packers. Packers up to 1-0, 1-1, beat Detroit. Not a great first half, poured it on in the second half. Looked more like the pack we're used to seeing. San Francisco, they're up to 2-0, beat Philadelphia, kind of shut Philadelphia's offense down. San Francisco, another team with a bunch of injuries all over the field. A bunch of injuries. I'm going to move this line to 10.5 and take the Packers. I think the Packers are just too good to pass up with 10.5 points. And I like the Niners too. I like the Niners. I think they're a good team, but they have a lot of injuries. And the Packers with 10.5 and Rodgers, they look like they got it together now. I think they're going to start to play good football. I like the Pack. That's pick number 12. Pick number 13. Let's go to the Big D in Dallas. Jerry's World. And they couldn't wait to get Jerry Jones on the screen after they kicked that game-winning field goal. They love doing that. With the Dallas Cowboys, a minus 4 against the Philadelphia Eagles in a big NFC East matchup. Cowboys 1-1 beat the Chargers. Gutty win by Dallas. Remember, they could have won week 1 in Tampa. Really heartbreaking loss. Now back on the road, they play the Chargers, a good team. This game was close all the way. And the Cowboys kicked the big field goal at the end to win it. That was a very, very good win for Dallas. Very good win. Very important win in the grand scheme of things in that division. So Dallas up to 1-1. Hosting this game on Monday Night Football. And the Eagles down to 1-1. I just mentioned they lost to the Niners. Really couldn't get anything going on offense. Remember, they were so dominant on offense week 1. Didn't happen here against the Niners. I just think Dallas's offense is too much for Philly. I like Dallas's offense. They have a lot of weapons. A really good stable of receivers. They got the line. They got the back. Prescott looks good. I thought they played 2 really good games on the road against 2 quality opponents. The Eagles didn't move the ball well at all against the Niners. I know it's a division game, but I think Dallas is too much for them here. Home on Monday night. I'm going to play this game in a money line and take Dallas. I just think they're going to win the game. In the first 2 weeks, I was more underdogs. This week, I'm sliding a little bit to the favorites. It's just the way it works out. Sometimes I like underdogs, sometimes I like favorites, sometimes I split them. I think Dallas has too much firepower here at home on Monday Night Football, so I'm going to take the boys. That's pick number 13. How about them Cowboys? Pick number 14. Let's go out to the desert in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Raiders are minus 4.5 against the Miami Dolphins. Miami 1-1. Played an abysmal game against Buffalo, got shut out at home by Buffalo. Tua gets hurt, has the rib injury, no idea if he's playing. Could be Brissett. He didn't play well in relief last week either. Who knows, again, who's quarterbacking the Dolphins? And then you got Vegas. 2-0, went into Pittsburgh and won. Really good start for Vegas. Really good start for Chucky Gruden. Really good start for Carr. In a very tough division, they needed a good start, and they have done it. I know there's a rule where teams that get shut out play better the next week because they're so embarrassed. Again, though, who's quarterbacking? Tua could sit. Do you love Brissett? He came in last week, didn't look good at all. Vegas has a lot of momentum now in their home. That place is going to be jumping this week. Jumping. With the Grim Reaper. And Chucky. Vader. And that crazy wacko in the gorilla costume. And all those tremendous fans that sit in a black hole. They're going to be jumping this week. And I think Vegas has too much momentum here. And with the Dolphins quarterback situation, how could you like them? How could you like them here? If Tua sits, do you really like them here? And there's a lot of injuries this week to quarterbacks. You have to take that into consideration. You really have to. So off of last week, with Vegas getting an impressive road win and the Dolphins getting shut out and Tua may not play, I gotta like Vegas to win the game. Money line, I like Vegas. I like Vegas to win the game. I do. And you know me, I love to push the line up and take the underdog in the teasers, but I just think Vegas is going to win. And these injuries to these quarterbacks are playing a role here this week. They're playing a part in who I'm picking. And by the way, with Tua hurt, you can be sure the Watson rumors will heat up. But it's hard for Miami to trade for Watson when you don't know what's going to happen with him legally. You don't know. Are you ready to give up on Tua now and go for Watson? And remember, the Texans are asking for 6 players for Watson. Let me say it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quality players for Watson. A guy that may get suspended when all is said and done. He's not playing right now. You're not going to know until the new year what happens with him. How could you trade for him now? You're taking a big risk. And you're trading a lot of quality players away, and you're giving up on Tua for Watson, and you just don't know. And I think Watson is super talented. It's not about that. You don't know what's going to happen with him off the field. But anyway, I'll go Vegas. That's pick number 14. Pick number 15. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here with the New York Football Giants, a -3 against the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons 0-2, lost to Tampa Bay. The Falcons were down big in this game, rallied back, but then had turnovers all over the field. It's going to be a long year for the Falcons. They don't have a great defense. They can do some things on offense with Ridley at wide receiver and the young tight end who's really good. But they're going to have to outscore people every week, and that's asking a lot because the defense is going to give up points every single week. Giants. Oh, the Giants. 0-2, lost to Washington on Thursday Night Football. Washington misses the field goal. Giants jump off sides, give Washington another shot. Game over, Giants 0-2. Not to mention the Giants left at least 11 points on the field. Left at least 11 points on the field with, penalties and drop passes and people running wide open where they couldn't connect on them. They left at least 11 points on the field, not to mention that offsides at the end of the game. And the Giants are 0-2. This is a crossroads game for the Giants because you go to 0-3 and it starts to get dicey now. I know the division could be weak, although I think Dallas is going to be good. 0-3 to come back from that is asking a lot. This is a crossroads game for the Giants. Now tell me what you gonna do when judgment comes for you. There ain't nowhere to hide. Little Bone Thugs and Harmony from back in the day. We'll see you at the crossroads, and the Giants are at the crossroads right now. To me, this is almost a must-win game for the Giants. Home against a bad Falcon team with an awful defense. Giants coming off an atrocious loss. A lot of time to stew. They had a long week to prepare. You have to think the Giants are going to respond here and win a game. Win a game, New York Football Giants. Has to be the time. I'm going to play the Giants in a money line. We're at the crossroads now, Giants. We're at the crossroads now, Jones. For the coach, too. They need this game for some positive juju, as they say. You go to 0-3, and here we go again. Here we go again. It's going to be, another long year. You get to 1-2, okay. You can live with that. 0-3, not so much. I think the Giants are going to pull it out this week. So I'm going to take the Giants at home in a money line to take care of business against a Swiss cheese Falcon defense. That's pick number 15. And pick number 16, listen, I'm not going to go anywhere near this game. This is the Thursday night game. Carolina Panthers -7.5 in Houston. Listen, it's two first-place teams, by the way. Carolina's 2-0, tied for first. Nice win against New Orleans. Darnold played well. McCaffrey's great. Defense played well. You got to give Carolina credit. You got to give them credit. 2-0, they're doing a nice job. The Texans, 1-1, they're in first place. They win week 1. They hung in against Cleveland. They hung in there. They didn't get blown out. But again, another quarterback situation for the Texans. Taylor's hurt. You may get Mills. So again, what are you going to get from Mr. Mills, the young quarterback? You just don't know. I'm going to stay away from this completely. I'm going to hand this game off to you guys. I wouldn't go anywhere near it. I don't like playing Thursday Night Football. I would think most of you would go 2-team teaser, take Carolina -1.5. If you ask me who was going to win, I'd probably lean Carolina. Houston's not that good in playing, the backup quarterback now, who's a young guy. I would probably go Carolina to win, but I'm not going anywhere near this game. I don't even think I'm going to watch this game on Thursday night. I know it's two first-place teams. It's not intriguing to me. I'll hand this game off to you. I'll check the scores. I'll see what's going on. I may flip on and take a peek, but I'm not going to spend my whole night watching 4 hours of this. So I'll hand that game off to you. All right. You're all caught up. You're all set for week number 3. Off to a flying start. 30-7 the first 2 weeks. Thanks as always for the support. The best audience in all of YouTube is right here. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Thanks as always for the support. Enjoy the games. I'll talk to you next Tuesday. Take care.